It's ironic that we see Peter as the first spokesperson who gets up in front of 3,000 people and sees 3,000 people respond to Jesus on the day of Pentecost. Why? Because almost every single day before that, almost every single time that Peter had the opportunity to fulfill his calling before this, we see that he messes it up. He misses it. See, Peter had been called to be the leader of the church. Peter had been called to be the first apostle. He had been called to be the first person who would establish the church of Jesus Christ and who would lead the church of Jesus Christ. And the fundamental thing that Peter needed to be able to do if he was going to lead the church of Jesus Christ is to sense what God is doing, to sense where God wanted to take the church and to articulate it to the people, to lead the people into whatever God wanted to do with them. He had to sense what God was doing and he had to articulate it to lead the people. Every single opportunity that Peter had to do this, almost every single opportunity that Peter had to do this beforehand, he messed up. We see that one time Jesus is talking about how he's going to go to the cross and how he's going to die for the sins of the world. And Peter steps in. He's like, no, Jesus, no, you're not going to die. It's going to be fine. I'm going to be here with you. It's going to be cool. And Jesus looks at Peter and he says, get behind me, Satan. It's a bad day when Jesus thinks you're Satan, right? When Jesus mistakes you for Satan. When you're called to be the leader of the church and Jesus is calling you Satan, that's a bad day. You probably want to hang up your pastor's shoes that day. You're like, okay, Jesus thinks I'm Satan. Guess I can't do it, right? Peter couldn't sense what God was doing, and instead of articulating and leading the people, he responded in a way that was completely contrary to the plan and purpose of God for that moment. There was another time when Jesus was transfigured on the mountain, and Jesus' glory is seen, and the Bible says that Peter was there. He was one of the three that was there, and he's looking at what's going on, and he has no idea. And the Bible says that because he had no idea what to say, he literally says, maybe we should make some altars, Jesus. What do you think? Maybe we should build something here. He had no idea what to say. He couldn't sense what God was doing, and he couldn't articulate it. We see so many times, we see even when Jesus is about to go to the cross and he's been given up to be arrested, Peter cuts some guy's ear off, messes it up. Then he completely denies Jesus. He walks away from Jesus when Jesus is hanging on the cross. Every single time, up until the day of Pentecost, we see that Peter, in his own strength and his own gifting and his own ability, was not able to fulfill the call and the destiny that God had for his life. But on the day of Pentecost, when the power and the presence of God came upon him, when the fire of God fell on the life of Peter, we see that he is transformed, that he is changed, that he becomes a new person, and he is able to fulfill the calling and the destiny that God has for his life.